actually. Okay, so it looks like we should be able to be heard now.
Okay.
Let's see here.
So we all gonna have a conversation, Reese and everybody.
Yeah, he may come in. Of course, he's working,
Okay.
so he may come. Okay. So greetings, everybody. I'm here with the elder David. Okay. he came to visit us here at the Meta Center today. And
Yes,
so,
I did.
how you feeling?
I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling better. Yep, I got some upliftment, and I got that through the Meta Center, through making this journey to the Meta Center here, and exposing myself to all the good qualities this Meta Center that Tony's offering, and I found it to be quite enhancing and energetically aligned, and lifted me up in spirit, my mind, my body, and also giving me emotional and physical support. This is quite an environment here. I advise y'all, those who haven't been here, to take advantage of this while it's still available for you. That's what I would do personally. And throughout my elder years, or in my new, my new stature or whatever that I've been elevated to by by the Meta Center. In my head, I'm still 39, you know. but this I'll say to you: while you have a gem like this in your environment available to you, take advantage of it. You know, in my youth, you know, we all think that we're going to live forever and indestructible and not going to make no mistakes in life and that kind of issue, but that's not the case. You know, sometimes we do things we're not proud of, you know, and sometimes we do things that we are proud of, you know. Also, we talk about issues where, you know, we go through things. I mean, this is a support system here, a whole wellness support system here that those of you should take advantage of and share with your family and friends, because they too can derive the advantages of being looked after and cared for by someone who's actively and energetically and enthusiastically here for one purpose, and that's just for your wellness. You know, that's the Meta Center here.
How do you feel the care that you receive at the typical traditional establishments that are out there versus what you receive since we've known each other?
Okay.
Yeah. And why though? You know, not just a simple answer, but why specifics? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only reason I'm laughing is that's like trying to compare honey to water. Both of them are good. Both of them are supporting and empower you in their own way. But there's one that's a little more sweeter than the other. And I say that to say that the aspects of what the Meta Center provides will actually help one to grow emotionally, physically, psychologically, every aspect of the human, what makes a person human, a humanness. It directly and energetically expands your heart center. In other words, it offers you opportunities to expand who you are. I always say that we're heart people because we're empathetic, you know, and we reach out. We want to be there for people and help people. That's our natural state. And I think that the Medicine Center offers that. And since historically, since I've been acquainted with the Medicine Center, it's just been a one triumph, triumph of joy after another, basically, without being too flowery. Those of you who heard me speak before, you know I'm not a flowery speaking person. but what I'm trying to say to you is that, we, in life, we're guided to that which will support and empower us. Whether or not we take advantage of it or not, that's up to us. When I was exposed to the Medicine, my first opportunity, my first superhuman training, I came up, I didn't know what to expect. I just felt, well, I'll be an older guy, come up and I'll probably feel uncomfortable a bit, but I'll get over that. I want to hear some of this knowledge that's coming out, and the young man that sings that have it head on straight, and I want to go in here and see what the medicine's about. In my first superhuman class, it was just astounding. I mean, I was so joyful inside that probably most of the those attending first maybe thought I was a little psychotic because all I could do was laugh. But what that laugh was the inner joy of being around like individuals and souls like myself. I mean, regardless of what the vessel might look like, age, I just felt I felt at home in a sense. Young people I met, it's like I didn't meet no strangers, and I met Master Kleiman. He gave me a treatment there, which was quite painful, but the pain was superseded by the joy that I felt in what he did to relieve some of the trauma and drama that my body had sustained and was carrying that I didn't realize, and a lot of that was rage. So, and I got a chance to, I was shown what that looked like. Prior to that, I just, wouldn't have known unless it was explained to me what physically or medically or psychologically that was I was experiencing. But Master Claremont told me that and showed me, and that only took place because I did come to the superhuman class and involve myself with the younger people there and expose myself to what was being taught. So to answer that question, my life has been enhanced much more on a level where it's just a great opportunity to be around like-minded people and like-minded human beings that really care about each other. And Tony is trying to tell you, as the saying, trying to pull your coattail in the sense that he might not tell you everything on his mind, but he will show you different things so you can figure it out for yourself, that which is important and power you. Because it's you got to do the work. If you don't do the work, you can't get the benefit, So that's what that looked like.
So I'm about to hit you with a heavy one.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Okay.
All right, so what is your take, because you're considered an elder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we call you that, 75 years old,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And so there's not a lot of elders even around, period. One could even call themselves an elder at that age range.
Okay.
And it's also who are not, shucking and jiving.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Who actually are part of the community themselves and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And so my question to you is, since you have lived a long life in sense of what humans typically here live, what's your take on what you have seen till now however way you want to take that question, what's your take on what have you seen till now, whether it's a pro, whether it's a con of the reality that we live? Do you see it getting, is it worse to you? Is it better to you? Uh, how are people? Are people better? Are they, as I would say, tweaking or spazzing? But in your take, what do you see?
Well, yeah, that's a good question, because the eyes that I see now, eyes that I see with now, are a lot different than the eyes I saw with maybe even a few years ago, even before I started with the medicine and study. Because when you're given the tools to see and really recognize what you're looking at, then the portrait, the picture of what you're looking at takes a whole different configuration. A person might see a picture of a rose and say, oh, that's a beautiful rose. That's great. But upon further notice, if one looks closer, they'll see the thorns with the rose. So at this point, to answer your question, what I've seen and what I continue to see is that I see a traumatized, what word I'm going to use? A traumatized group of people. Tony, you like to use demographics. I see a traumatized group of people making with, irregardless of the crayon colors, having learned and got some deeper understanding of what trauma looks like and how it's been affected and militarized or weaponized on certain groups. And even after that's taken place, there's nothing has taken place as to how to correct that or heal that trauma so that the trauma gets passed on generationally to the next generation. Now, and going on further, what I see is it's not complacency. I think it might be fear. Some of the elders, or my age group, my old partners, whatever, they probably see the same kind of thing. They just don't know what kind of labels to put on it. And or some of those labels would, in fact, if they acknowledged them, threaten their life or their life or their family family rituals or family interactions, because you can only say so much to a person who don't have the same eyes you have to see without them turning off and turning away from you. And elders or people older, they lost friends, they're losing friends, they're losing relatives or whatever. And so when it comes to making a decision as to possibly losing the affections or relationship with a parent or a sibling or cousin or good friends, they would take the lower road and just say, well, okay, you feel that way, okay, well, I won't interrupt your life. I won't tell you what I'm thinking. I won't interject any of the science that I know about, because that would make you upset and angry, and you might not want to be my friend anymore. That kind of issue.
Do you feel people, based on what you have seen, the ups and the so-called downs and everything else, do you feel people that's a right thing to do?
Well,
overall.
Well, it's not necessarily a right thing to do. I think it's a natural thing to do with someone who's been traumatized and don't know they've been traumatized and don't know how to fix the situation in, on, or around them, or in or around their family, or in or around their community.
That's deep.
Okay. So it gets to be a thing of, I want some joy in my life, or I want some relationship with my grandchild, or whatever. The situation such as we talk about some demographics don't like certain kinds of meat, don't like pork, or don't like beef, or whatever, which we talk about. And because historically their family may have raised on a certain kind of meat substance, so they eat it all their life, and they grew up with it, And then all of a sudden, that person says, well, I don't eat that kind of food anymore. I don't want that kind of culture in my life anymore. And so the rest of the family said, well, you're not like us anymore. We don't feel comfortable around you. So, and then the person said, well, okay, I'll do it, or I won't do it, or I'll pretend to do it, or whatever. So it might be a lot of pretending going on. Because people know, it's like, and let's get this clear. Let's get this so we're having a clear conversation. We all got, you talk about having daddy issues and mommy issues, we all got daddy issues, and we all got mommy issues. Some daddies didn't do what they were supposed to do, or thought they were doing right, or just things didn't happen. Some mamas didn't do what they were supposed to do, and things didn't happen, or things didn't right, or they only knew what they knew to do, because they was traumatized too. They just didn't understand it. So generationally, they were passing on trauma and didn't know it until a later part in their life when they did realize it and said, oh, okay, well, I tried to do the best I could. Well, mom and dad, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Okay, fine, I got that. Now, let's fast forward 25 years, ask that same child, how'd you react in those same circumstances? Oh, I kind of see now. Oh, I kind of see now. And that's getting back to a premise I have. Is life lessons are not transferable. The same lessons that grandma learned, great-grandma, and her mother learned, her father learned, and their parents learned, are the same lessons that our grandchildren are going to have to learn. Okay? Same lessons. Every generation have to learn the same lessons. And it's, we want to be different. Like the things that my father told me that would support and empower me. Mother support and empower me. I listened, but maybe I listened maybe 30 or 40%. And then I did 25%. And Dad said, oh, I tried to tell you so and so and so. But what he didn't what he didn't say in his heart is that my father tried to tell me too, but I didn't want to listen either, So it gets passed on. So every generation got to learn the same lessons. Drugs, sex, alcohol, gambling, human relationships, they're all the same, all the same. All the same. Whatever timeline or whatever historical demographic you want to go to, you'll find those same aspects that humanity has to face. So having said all I said, I hope I made some sense in it, that I think we're just people just trying to be better people. And, we have to forgive mama or daddy or grandpa or uncle and then say, I may not understood you, but I know in some aspect you love me. And you just trying to do the best you could, but you were traumatized and didn't know it. I know you love me, so. And then maybe people might get some peace. But to get back to the original question, right now, the peace that people are seeking is the peace of a oneness of spirit, oneness of heart. In other words, Since we're all connected energetically as heart people, we're seeking that on a certain kind of level. That's when we walk into a room full of strangers and we meet new people. And we say, oh, that's great. We got the same thing in common. But 20 minutes prior to that, they had no idea of who each other were until they opened up their hearts and saw that they were both empathetic, in other words, heart people, just alike. They just hadn't met each other. So I think we attract that. We attract who we are before we even get to a place. And who you are gets to a place before you get there. So if it doesn't sound like a bunch of gobbledygook, I think we as a people, if we just focus on wellness, I come back to that, because we got to get well to heal. And as we get well and heal, we can pass that healing on to the younger generation, and they can get better. And they can talk, and they can get better, and they can share their information. Like sometimes Tony might say this, and he didn't prompt me to say it, but he offers certain stratagems to conquer certain environments that may or may not happen. But it gives you the tools to affect that if they do. Now, question and point. If I'm talking about a hunger famine season coming up next year, 2 years, and I'm an urban person, and I don't know nothing about farming. I'm not, maybe my ancestors come off a farm, maybe they know I do that. I don't. If you ask me where milk comes from, I say the refrigerator. If you say where food comes from, I'm saying the grocery store. But if something happens, those opportunities are going to be there for you. So what are you going to do? You're going to revert to what you know, your knowledge base. If you don't have a knowledge base, you're going to starve. You're going to die. You're going to get real frantic. And so there are those who are attempting to show you and teach you methodologies of how to survive in the coming future. Now, whether they look like or as exasperated or as extreme as what you might hear on YouTube or any other digital formats, that's one thing. It may or may not happen like that. But if we had traumas and dramas that happened, something crazy that knocked everything out, all the food sources out, or your ability to get food sources for 1 week, how long would you be able to eat with what you got in your refrigerator with no electricity? What would you eat? After a few days, your neighbors are going to start knocking at the door. After the third or fourth day, they're going to stop knocking. They'll kick the door down. So all I'm trying to say to you is this. There are tools being offered to you, and I say younger people, there are tools being offered to you for you to learn and utilize, and once you utilize, you can share that. You can share that. If you learn how to make up your herbs and make up your medicines and whatever yourself, then that means if you have a child or a young person around you or a relative in the house, you can show them how to do that. And they can show another person how to do that. So that grows exponentially, So that's what that looked like. So if anything else, don't be selfish about what you might be able to do for yourself to share with somebody else. Don't be selfish with your skills and your knowledge base, because this is having this environment years ago, even in my life, would have made things a lot smoother in my personal relationships, my physical health. Okay, issues like that. So, and it's like once you know, you know. So once somebody teach you, it's that old adage, if you want to feed a person, you can feed a person. You can cook him some fish or whatever. But if you want him to live for life, or take care of it for life, you teach him how to fish. So Tony and the medicine is trying to teach you how to fish. Dr. Blair, he laid the groundwork to get to where we are right now. He laid the foundation and groundwork to get where we are right now. That was his job. Now Tony is following up on finishing up this aspect of groundwork, where it's going to take you to get to another plateau. There may be another after Tony that will lay the groundwork for you to accomplish and succeed and survive any other calamities. But you got to be open to it. You got to look at the picture like this old guy or this guy in front of you talking now, saying, he may be talking crazy and he may talk too much sometimes and laughs a little bit too much sometimes and silly sometimes. But one thing I want you to know is that you have to learn how to do for self. Ain't nobody coming to save you, okay? Like if Jesus say, look, and say, well, Jesus coming to save you, all right. But Jesus be the first person to tell you, I'm not no mule. Even in the religions and in the teachings, he said, I'm not no mule. I'm your brother. I walk with you and help you walk through it. But I'm not no mule. You're not going to ride me nowhere. Okay? If you can't, I'll show you how to do it. And you walk with me, we good. Okay? So, having said all that, and you might be totally confused after what I'm saying. But I've said it. Okay. All right. Now I say, well, I'm through talking on that part. So unless somebody else got another question.
Hey, Reese. Yeah. You got anything that you want the elder to speak on while he's on camera? Do you think he should speak on for people to hear anything? So while you thinking there, okay. So you came up, of course. It took you 3 hours to get here?
Yeah, about 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, how has that, or has this been for? Of course, we can already assume what you're going to say.
Yeah.
But still, was it worth the journey?
Oh yeah, it's worth the journey. It's worth the journey. More so, it's the hope to come with the journey. Because the prayer and meditation was I'd be supported and empowered when I got here, and supported and empowered as I'm here. So yes, it was worth the journey. I look forward to being here. I didn't know what I would run into. Because I had some questions about my own health that was quite concerning to me. There was a lot of consternation as to what was going on in my body. And after I got here and got exposed to certain techniques and tools that are available at the Med Center that Tony availed me to, then those fears were lifted up, were alleviated, and they were alleviated not through hocus pocus, just by true concern and a empathetic understanding of what a person might need emotionally, physically, and psychologically here. So to answer your question, that's what I received, and it lifted me up because the fears and concerns that I had prior to that this morning, I don't have those anymore. I have a sense of pep in my step that I'm gonna keep, because I know what I have been doing wrongly in a certain uneducated way, because I just didn't know. And so I'm gonna retune my own behavior to help myself. But I couldn't have done that without the aid and assistance of the tools and the service of the medicine and Tony himself. Mm-hmm.
I see you over there listening. You enjoying it? Yeah, yeah.
No,
I'm enjoying you as well.
thank you.
I'm glad you're here
Now,
in the flesh.
there's one thing I want to add too, is the fact that as to come through meditation and personal reflection myself, is the fact that some persons are very concerned about what others think about them. And rightly so sometimes, because the person might be your spouse, your mother, your friend, your family, somebody close to you. And you might think or have an idea that it's something personal that you're not qualifying in the eyes to be or do, or to say or act, but actually had nothing to do with you. What it is that if you strike a match and you put that match, that fire to something, it's going to make it move. Okay? So spirit is like a light. And the higher the spirit, the higher the energy, the higher the frequency, the higher vibration, and that makes things move. And sometimes people don't want to move. So the last thing they want is a light underneath them or around them, because that's going to make that which is inside of them reach out to strive to be like the environment. And since water attracts its own level, in other words, it's no higher or lower in levels of water in a basic pan or a basin, then if one light or one frequency of vibration were to enter a room of lesser lights or lesser vibration than frequency, then those of the lesser nature will seek naturally to be and to attune and to vibrate with the higher frequency of vibration. That's just law, cosmic law. Okay, so you may walk into a room and say, "People just don't like me. Well, I'm too pretty, or I'm too handsome, so and so." You say, but it ain't about that. It's the light they see in you. It's that love they see in you that they want to emulate and don't know how to do that. But that part of them that want to reach out and be just like you, that scares them. That makes them feel inadequate. And people don't like to feel inadequate. They don't like to feel inadequate. So having said that, all I'm saying to you is that if you have that kind of personality, and whoever you are, and you walk into a room of like-minded people, then you're going to have a like-minded experience. If you walk into a room of lesser-minded people, then they might get angry and upset with you. But it's not about you. It's about when you walk into a room, you like a match. You're gonna make things move and grow. And some people just don't want to move. They don't want to grow. They don't want that, because that makes them do something.
Let me tell you what's deep.
Okay.
Spoke to, this kind of leads into a conversation that happened earlier. You heard me on the phone when you came in. I was on the phone for a while because an elder had called. She's from the East Coast, Maryland. And in that brief conversation that we had, it dealt with community and how the community can be better, right? And as an elder, I think maybe she's in her 60s or so.
Okay.
Oh, wait, she goes to the casino. Okay.
Yeah.
And she sees all these older people at the casino. These are people who have pensions. You know what I'm saying? Who worked all their life. Boomer generation, and maybe worked all their life. Probably got so much money saved up. And what they do with that is that they go to the casino and just blow it.
Yeah.
Because primarily what they're doing. They just
Yeah.
literally just giving away the money,
Right,
right?
right.
When literally, in many cases, some of these people go to the casinos every day and do
Yeah.
that every single day,
Mhm.
and they just have so much money coming in
Mhm.
through their endeavors
Mhm.
that they could do that every day or at least a few times a week,
Yeah.
every week for
Right.
years, and it doesn't even make a dent
Right.
in their life at all, right?
Right,
In lifestyle at all.
right.
And yet, if they, even a portion of them in one casino
Right.
gave that money to benefit their community,
Right.
the world would be different. You're gonna say, or it'd be many more communities that would be, things would not be like the way they are. 100%. This is interesting. What you said there kind of segued into that thought of that conversation that happened earlier.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's quite interesting that
Mhm.
because people supposedly want things to be better,
Right.
but it could easily be better,
Yeah.
but yet
Yeah.
and yet it's almost because things are happen through action, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if their action is the opposite of that, then you
Mhm.
can say through action, the majority or most want it to be actually the opposite of better.
Well, that's a good premise. But let's add this,
Mhm.
and you understand it. You know, especially yourself, you understand technologies and traumatized people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are technologies at work. Like when I was younger and going through science class, we learned a thing about Pavlov's dog. You know, Pavlov's dog, they go eat a certain kind of way and just keep eating. You know, until they till they get sick. There's experiments with monkeys pushing for drugs until they just die. Okay, and there are certain sound systems that are being utilized on people to emit a certain behavior, and those who are most vulnerable to that behavior are the ones they prey upon, and those are younger people and older people. We're talking about loneliness here. We're talking about the only reason older people like that may go into an environment is one, to be around others like themselves, or to be around some company without having to interact and not be alone. So the money gets to be like secondary. If they had paper, that's why you had like bingo parlors, and they were paper, chips and pens or whatever. So it's a technology that they've utilized. That's what gambling is. I was a victim of that myself. Okay?
So you was one of the elders in there.
Yeah, I was one trying to pull. I'm trying to pull my slot. You know, bing, 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 because I'm hearing this support system number, this noise, ding, 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 ding. You know,
there you go.
yeah, okay, I'm trying to hear that number again. See, so a person might they let them have a couple $100, so on, so on, so, and then but the way the technology goes. They know that those that created the system, that it's going to take them XYZ dollars to get that sound back. So that older person or that person that's there for the sense of accompaniment, the sense of sharing an environment, the sense of not being alone, gets hooked into that. So when they look up, might walk in with a purse full of money, a pocket full of money. Hour or two later, they looking around. Wow, I thought I had some change in my pocket. You know, they want to feel that and see that again. So what I'm saying to you is this, and I'm not sugaring it up at all. All I'm saying is this: the technologies that are being played upon the so-called gamblers. And you notice that throughout the number of years, I can remember when gambling wasn't allowed, wasn't no slot machines. You might go to a boat or something like that, or they gambled, in hidden ways, in the alleyways or on basements or whatever. But all of a sudden, those who were in power realized that they could tax this more and create another lucrative income stream by utilizing traumatized people. Okay, if you take a group of people, a group of elders, and you say, "Look, we're going to play bingo, and we're going to give these prizes X, Y, Z, had nothing to do with money, basically, and all you got to use these chips. We're going to give you all some food. We'll give you all some lunch. You can hang out with your friends and buddies, and every once in a while we'll give somebody some, like like a big show prize or whatever, and you're gonna be the winner." Okay, so that person does that half the day or next day, uh, and they don't care about the money. The money allotment is what come with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like walking into a lonely person. Look, let me be clear on this. Young people and lonely people do some dumb shit. Okay? I've been both of them. Okay, I've been both of them. So I use that vernacular for a reason. And what I'm saying is that before we judge or look at that picture of the rose, and we see that beautiful rose, sometimes we got to look deeper and see the thorns behind that rose. So the wise man would say, "Yeah, that's a beautiful rose, and I'd like to, and in reality, I'd like to look at it, but in reality, I know I can't grab it because my finger gonna hit one of them thorns." So, yes, in their right minds, people will not gamble. Okay, in their right minds, a mouth with a good eyesight wouldn't grab a piece of cheese that's connected to an iron bar that's going to break their neck.
I see something that's deep that you also said here that brought up something else, right?
Okay.
You mentioned loneliness a few times in this, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There was a Harvard study, and what I'm going to end up doing when I edit this, I'm going to put it up on the screen.
Okay.
It was a Harvard study that ended up through some experiments shown that loneliness, we're talking about being truly lonely,
right?
Because you can have somebody around you but still feel lonely.
That's right,
you know what I'm saying? So, but real loneliness
will kill you.
Yes. Okay, it's equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Okay, and it is a leading cause of heart disease.
Yes.
Okay, so literally loneliness is you can say that's a heart-based feeling.
Right.
Okay, and it causes a heart-based disease if you're truly lonely. Okay,
Right.
It's interesting. I was going to add that. Just mention that since you mentioned that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the heart is not getting what it needs. And so it comes out in the physical area, the heart not getting what it needs, right? Okay, so the valves and stuff shut down. But also emotionally, the heart's not getting what it needs. So, outside life, the physical heart and the emotional heart, they're both one the same. And if they aren't nurtured, then they suffer. And loneliness. And like you say, you can be in a room full of people and be lonely. I mean, I went, look, I'm a person, I've always felt lonely quite a bit in my life because when I got ready to go somewhere, I didn't wait on anybody to go places. I grew up as only child. So my mindset was like, if you're not ready to go, I'm going. I'm rolling, okay? So my friends would say that. I come on, you ready to go? You can't go now. Okay, I'll see you later. You going by yourself? That's it. Go on. So I got used to that. And to the place where I could go to different geographical locations throughout the country by my damn self, and not worry about who to meet and what to fear, those kind of issues. But that's my youth, that's my youth. So a person has to What am I trying to say? Um, they have to follow through with what their calling is. And, what their calling. And I'm not talking about on a religious aspect, but on a, what's that calling that's coming from that heart. Whether you're talking about a child's heart, you might talk about your own heart, a relative's heart. Is once you see what that calling is, what that person needs, then you know how to treat them. When I walked in here and I needed services, and services I didn't even really know I needed, but you, empathetic energy like yourself, you saw what I needed. It wasn't a big decision. I mean, about this. This is what I see, okay, and this is what I'm going to share with you. And this is how we're going to deal with it. You like, that's what we're going to do. So that's what that looks like, okay. So once you decide that you don't need anybody else to condone you, congratulate you, or to what's the other word I'm looking for? To lift you up, then you can make it on your own. And you're gonna make mistakes. I made a lot of damn mistakes. Yep. And some of them, yeah, I want to take back. But once the train left the station, that's it. That's what that looked like. So when I go back, when I get ready to take my last breath or whatever in this vessel, I'm probably gonna say, "Well, I wish I did this a little better, or did that a little better, or whatever." But I knew at the time, I made the best. I made the best decision based on my mindset that I could. Had I been healthier, less traumatic, less whatever, I would have made better decisions. But I wasn't. I did what I did. And you guys are gonna find out, whoever hears this, that you got to accept your short forms and your long forms. Accept all of you, because that's who you are. You're great. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. Maybe you're angry. You're pissed off. You're jealous. You're antagonistic, or whatever. Don't make a difference. But that's you. Accept that. Deal with it. Make it better. So that when somebody comes to you, because see, we like refrigerators. And I'm not going to talk at that, but since you asked me, we like refrigerators. And as refrigerators, we put stuff in refrigerators to store them, so we eat them or try them another day. Put the milk or put orange juice, whatever, in the refrigerator to keep it for another day. We as human beings, empathetic beings, we collect situation, conditions, lessons in our own lives like refrigerators. It's like having a handle on our chest. When the person walk up to you and say, well, like, okay, I'm sad, I'm lonely, and so and so, and say, okay, they walk up to you and open you up and get a lesson out. Well, when I was lonely, this is where I did it. This is what happened to me. Okay. Well, when I was mad at that woman, this is what happened to me. Oh, okay. All right, okay. When I felt like I'm going to kill myself and, didn't like life, this is the way I handled it. Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. And see, so we're all refrigerators, and we're storing these lessons and situation conditions in our lives to share with other people. If you don't do that, you're doing a great disservice to those around you. A great disservice. Okay? And no, you ain't got to be the hero, the good guy all the time. If you were, You know, you find somebody that done that, I want you to turn around and run. You know, because they ain't who you think they are. Okay. You know, every man, every woman, you know, we all got you know, clay feet. Clay feet, you know. We all got clay feet. In other words, we all lacking somewhere. We just trying to be better people at better times, in the right conditions. You know? So I hope someone got something out of that other than uh, me going on and on. But you know, I'm not through with life, and I'm not through making mistakes. But I'm also not through making good decisions. You know, and giving some good advice along with some bad advice. You know? And acting in a very human way. So you got to help each other, you got to love each other. And don't ever feel like you're too big, you're too proud to look at someone you love and say, I'm sorry. Life ain't like that. Life ain't like that. Okay.
Like I said, I knew when we first started this conversation. I told you it wouldn't take much to get you activated.
Yeah, you said that. You said that. I didn't believe you, but you said that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So should we end it on that? Okay.
Well, I had one question. It was a
Okay.
personal question. We were talking from my own, but
Yeah, come on. What is it?
so I was thinking about that virtual reality thing you showed me, where it's the training the third eye or something like that. I think.
Third eye.
Do you remember the?
When was it?
This was. It was a.
About a year ago or something?
Yeah, it was a class that was here when we were. That's when we were downtown, right off of Wells and Wacker.
Yeah.
That 111 Wacker building.
Okay.
Okay. So you want a superhuman class?
I believe so. I don't know if it was a redo, like the second part of it.
Okay.
But it just blew my mind that it was an elder putting me on with some tech.
Okay.
I'm not as hip on those things, so I forget what you were saying earlier, but it made me think about that moment again. What are some of the tools you've gotten from here, or how have some of the tools here enhanced some of your gifts already that have helped you stay up to date or stay, in flow with modern day stuff? Because it seemed like stuff just keep coming out, and a lot of it is the same stuff being redone.
Okay.
It's not too much innovation, but it's enough that a person could be overwhelmed sometimes.
Gotcha.
How have you kept up with it, even as an elder?
Okay.
And flow with some of the tools.
Okay. Well, that's part of the gifts that younger people can give older people. Okay. Because generationally, we learn certain habits and certain skill sets that get ingrained. And those habits and skill sets that they are ingrained it takes a minute to shift into another aspect of it, such as when I came up, I watched TV. Only thing I can do is turn on and off and turn the station. Y'all came up, y'all got computers. I mean, you can talk to, Northwest Russia or talk to your girlfriends or whatever, or whatever. You can do kind of different things. So having said that to you, since I've been involved in that center, I'll tell you what I didn't know. I didn't know the basics about how to manipulate certain aspects about the digital media. And my colleagues, my younger colleagues, who I'll call them all geniuses, brilliant minds. We had the little team research projects, and I didn't know. Somebody would say, "Well, David, I want you to Send me this picture through the email, and I can put it up online, whatever. So, okay, how you do that? We talking remotely, okay, well, I don't know how to do that. So they were very patient with me. I mean, patient, painfully patient, because I knew zip about how to manipulate computers and to where I can use it in a live presentation. And, I may knew how to articulate something, but I didn't know how to come across on graphically or make the scenes up. So the younger people have been very patient and shown me different techniques to use. Not that I command all of them, but it's just enough to get me by. So all I'm saying to you is that, like, had I not been in the environment of the Meta Center and the beautiful souls, regardless of the age groups or the male or female, whatever, just heart people, one like my own heart, they just wanted to make things better. They wanted to share. So, and older people, it's like, I think one time Tony told me something, he said, David, we're going to take this project and, we're going to make it so that we got interviews, live interviews, and we're going to have some screen graphics on here, and we're going to have some pictures over here, and so on. So I said, okay. That sounds pretty good. He said, yeah. I said, well, how you do that? He said, okay, I'll talk you through it. Okay. And by the time we get through, I said, well, that's nice, Tony, but how you do that? So I hope I answered your question. All I'm saying to you is that I've developed some new skill sets that I didn't really think I could develop and learn. And I'm still lacking on a lot of things, because it was just like I told Tony, I said, look, this is like learning a new language for me. It's like trying to learn, if you were a child, you grow up with, say Spanish, whatever. And you get to be grown and you're being taught English, or vice versa. It's a whole new spectrum, But yeah, I learned some techniques and skill sets that I can utilize on my own, but also what I've received was the beauty of being involved in an interactive network around a like-minded group of individuals who had one premise in mind: that's to make things better. Okay, when my book was written, rewrite my book, Reflection of Light, Tony would tell you himself. He said, David, I want you to do all the revision and send it to me. I said, okay, I'm glad to do that. So he about wait a couple of days, I got a whole page, couple of pages of it. he said, David, are you sure you got all of them now? I said, let me go back and take a look again. Next day I got another whole page, 2 pages. He said, well, David, we're getting pretty close here. You got it like you want it? I said, give me a minute. I'm going to change the poem. And after about 3 or 4 revisions, Tony said, wait. Tell you what, man, let's get what we got now. Let's get what we got now, and then we work on other things when we got time to do that. But let's get something out now, too. And, I found that beneficial. Because I had to, when writers, and like any artist, when they finish it, it's finished. But if they go back and look at it, they're gonna want to revise it and they're going to want to do this and this and that. I had to learn the patience. Tony had patience with me, but I had to learn to make this decision. Look, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to close my eyes and say, okay, we done it. We do this. Do it. And it came out like it did. I had certain aspects about what I wanted the front to look like. And Tony said, well, that's good, so and so and so and so. You know, all right. Let's see. I like this. What do you think about that? I said, I'm going to leave it up to your discretion. Because, you know, you're the talent here. You're the graphics person at this point here. So let's go with that. And I got a beautiful symbol of the symbol I wanted to portray in the color context, but in a very superb way, which I didn't accept. I didn't expect. And it's been such that it was absolutely genius, I would say, the way he put that together. And I wanted a red element in my book. Yeah, I wanted a red element, and I wanted a rose. But I wanted in a certain place. And he said, well, that might be a little too busy. I said, well, I want that element somewhere. But, you know, I'll leave it to your discretion. So Tony says, okay, David, I got something for you after a little bit. I said, well, okay, well, whatever way you want to go with it, let's just get it done. We fine. So Tony decided to put the rose right there on top of the moss, peering through under the light. So in other words, you know, where there's darkness, there's light, and beauty always rises in the light. And whoever's getting ready to read this book, they are that rose. A gentle awakening.
There it is.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
In your way.
This is not a book sale. I'm not selling books. I'm selling books.
I knew it was gonna pop up anyway.
Yeah.
You ended up answering my second question because I was gonna ask how it's influenced your creative
Yeah.
life.
Oh yes, and not only that, after some of our discussions that we've had at the medicine and some of our research, our open lines and private lines, whatever. Sometimes I've been opened up to be a channel for something that wanted to come out, for words and poetic verse. And sometimes that might look like I start off with an idea after one of our sessions, and that might turn into like 6 or 7 pages, 8 by 11 pages of poetic verse written by hand. And if you'd asked me 5 minutes prior to writing it down what it's going to look like, I'd say probably a paragraph. Okay? When it looked like it's 8, 9 pages. I have a number of books like that, and poetic verses, and that artistry comes out, just like the artistry comes out in you and what you do. You know, you're an artist, who you are. Like we say, you know, and you say, what I mean by that, it's like when you walk into a room, you know, you walk and you bring out your poetry. You don't have to write anything down, just be still. And who you are as a man comes out and shows up, and that creates that environment, that creative environment, so that those who are sensitive and have creative talent can take from that and do what they will and create something beautiful. You see? You know? So what I'm saying to you is that being in an inspirational environment brings out the artist in you that you didn't even know you had in you. and artistic skills and wherewithals that you had no clue who you are. And then you have a poetic dream. You might have a gift of voice, a gift of poem, a gift of writing, or a gift of, you know, just a gift of looking to people. I mean, some folks can't look at people. Some people can't talk to people. You know, you walked around. You know, you met people. You walked up and you got a good heart. And you want to say hello, how you doing? They look at you like you crazy bed bug. Oh, what you want? You know, because they're scared. You know, this guy got a smile on his face. He might be somebody nice. He might make that light in me flare up to make me want to do something that maybe I ain't ready to do. You know, so that artistry is in great fighters, is in great fathers. You know, great metaphysicians. And I say this again to you, and I'm not going to target this again. But look, when I pass, and those like me pass, those who were exposed to you and your knowledge, and the refrigerator of information and knowledge that you guys gonna carry out and show to the world, is gonna be quite profound. It's gonna be quite profound. Because it's like those that who walk with certain prophets and teachers. They say, well, they don't know nothing. They just hangers on. They just walking around doing so and so and so. No, that ain't it. That ain't it. When you're in an environment, you absorb what that energy and vibration is until it becomes you. And when it gets so profound, then you got to go out and be you. You can't be around nobody else no more. Because you become the teacher. And you know what's scary? You know what's scary? Is becoming a teacher. That's scary. That's scary. That'd make any man break down and cry. But when you get by yourself, there's something you're gonna always say, there's something I needed to say. I didn't say it. And they gone. I never would get a chance to touch that heart again. So, and I always told you that about yourself, Reese. You're quite a strong, powerful, creative man, okay, who's in this life to do right by yourself and others and with your family and children. You just keep being you, And people like you are the heroes that, people are going to talk about in the future. Really, I know you think I'm joking, But hey.
No, I'm tripping.
Yeah.
I tried to do this before, and you hit no points that me and Tony was just talking about.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I can speak a lot too, but I went mute. I was just rambling.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you ramble till you get to where you gotta go. Mm-hmm.
We ain't had that much time.
That what they say about me.
12 hours.
I
got it.
That's what they say about me. But if I stopped there and I didn't say what I wanted to say or I thought I should say, and I got home and I said, damn, maybe there's something else I could touch that heart. But I got selfish because I wanted to look good. Now, sometimes people get into the worst spots in their life trying to look good. Okay? Because looking good ain't always good. Mm-hmm. It ain't always good. Okay? It's because you have a beautiful woman. A beautiful woman is like a handful of diamonds, a handful of gold. They both attract thieves. Okay? Knowledge and real knowledge is just like that beautiful woman. They attract thieves. That's why you got all these, what do you call it? YouTubers, influencers will listen to Tony. I mean, I've heard it myself. After we get on one of the open lines, Tony might say something, we talk about this subject, so. And being that I like to, research and go other places and check different sites, I hear the same points being covered by this person I know, don't know what the hell they're talking about, but they just have heard it, from the medical center, and won't give him his props, won't give Dr. Blair his props, but that's what it looked like. See? Yeah. So, once you guys become, I'm not going to say grown, once you become not fulfilled, but filled up. Once your refrigerator gets filled up and you go out into the world, there's going to be a lot of things you're going to do. And it's going to impact people. It's going to support and empower people. And history is going to record that there were a group of people who tried to be better people and do the best they could. Okay? So whether or not they ever remember your name or not, it don't even matter. It don't matter. It don't matter if you ever hear my voice again. It don't matter. It don't matter. If it's something I say supporting the power of you, I'm good. Okay? I might go on and kick off. Say, okay. Well, you want to come back, Dave? Nope, I'm good. I'm fine. All right. Yeah. And don't think I ain't made my mistakes. Yeah, if you had a dump truck out there by mistakes, you probably had to go get another one. Okay.